Hello everyone, hello. How are you guys doing today? When there comes a moment in your life when you're backed into a corner and you don't know what to do because you might have done something wrong, you might go ahead and go all the way and burn every bridge you made. But in this case, you might want to save face. Or, you know you did something wrong, but it was part of a master grand plan to disassemble and be big, be bigger. I farted, didn't ask. Get banned. Mods ban him real quick. Anyways. TheAnimeMen have done the big bad tier list. But was it rage bait? Was it meant to spark discussion? It definitely did spark discussion, which I will commend them for that. They're not bad people. They just have some bad takes. But they have redeemed themselves. At least I believe so. They have made a video called "We Became the Most Hated Anime-tubers Ever." And it is a hint to the bad video they made. But they made a follow-up. And today we're gonna see what this follow-up is. And I might be in the video. I might actually be in this video. You will see. There's a chance I might be in this video. Are you ready, guys? All of y'all ready, kids? Let's go ahead and articulate this video and see the goodness that came out, the badness that came within. Alright? Anyways, without further ado, let's see if TheAnimeMen indeed redeemed themselves. Let's get it started.
This straight up might be the single worst YouTuber video
Yep.
of all time.
A lot of people
Doraemon's
hated
F-tier.
it.
It's easily F tier.
F tier.
A lot of dislikes. That's a
Bottom of the
crazy
barrel,
amount of
F-tier.
dislikes.
They gave Astro Boy the anime.
Dragon Ball time. Dragon Ball time.
This is probably A or S. The D tier.
What?
Goku with a tail. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, they had to add me moan, cause what else do I do in here besides moaning? Oh, and the prism is featured. I forgot I still had the prism activated. But let's continue. Oh wait, you guys probably couldn't have seen that. Wait, let me move my webcam. Okay, look.
Goku with a tail. I've never seen that before.
That's crazy. Yeah. Nuts. I don't know. That one is definitely, I fell for the rage bait there for sure. Obviously they knew Goku had a tail. That's pretty obvious.
Solo leveling.
Instant F tier.
I'm gonna kill someone.
Put it at 2x speed. We're giving this anime a little bit more respect. We're only gonna put it at 1.5 times speed.
Yeah.
Scrolling on your phone, the least you could do is
try.
One of them doesn't even watch anime.
Don't watch anime at all.
You are a bunch of f***ing tourists.
Yeah.
Until 2020.
The T-slur. They've been called a T-slur.
I'm too old for this.
Please self-proclaimed anime fans. Maybe don't make a tier list video.
Yeah. Everyone went nuts.
If I ever catch one of you in public, you might get
That guy's just kind of crazy in the brain. Let's see this video. I like the style they make for videos.
Right.
Yep, they are the tourists.
So, do you guys want to watch some solo leveling?
Okay, in all seriousness, we aren't here to defend ourselves. The video we made was just outright garbage. And every person critiquing us is 1000% valid. And honestly, we deserve all the backlash that's coming to us. Let's just be honest. Everyone is calling us fake anime fans, clout chasers, and most importantly, the T word. And although we disagree with those labels,
it's a
the
slur
video makes
now.
them out to be 100% true, and we have no one else to blame but ourselves for that.
So not only was the entire concept of the video bad, but just the way we went about it was also terrible.
No, honestly, it was a good idea. But it's kind of crazy hard to execute. But they could have done more effort, which is the thing. Because they didn't have to 2 times, 1.5 times speed it. Like it's some college lecture or something. Or university lecture. You know what I mean? They did the best they could do. Could they have done better? Yeah. For sure. For sure. But I do commend them for tackling a crazy idea like that they definitely knew they were gonna fluff some feathers with this hoe. But and now let's see how they redeem themselves, really. This is a horizontal stream. What do you mean? What's up? What's up, chats? Okay, let's get it continued.
Terrible. We completely disrespected older anime by playing it in 2 times speed and just making really bad jokes. And we didn't actually give a proper insight and analysis to these older anime that actually deserved one.
And not knowing that Goku had a tail.
And on top of that, the way we...
Okay, the Goku tail, that was rage bait. That is definitely rage bait.
In the video, especially the thumbnail, made it seem like we're doing an analysis when in reality, all we do is bash these shows for no reason.
The reason why...
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not like you got a whole DVD to just watch one episode.
It seemed like we're doing an analysis when in reality, all we do is bash these shows for no reason.
The reason why the video turned out the way it did is because we were just downright lazy. And in all honesty, we just wanted to upload the video and meet a deadline.
We wanted to get the video over with, and instead
That
of
is exactly what I said.
For whatsoever, we kind of just resorted to rage baiting and really bad jokes.
And since we're
that
being
is
real,
literally
some
what
of
I
us did start watching anime
Boom.
during COVID, but at the same time, some of us didn't. Like Gianni and Jeremy started watching anime in 2014, and I started watching anime in 2017. But in my opinion, it doesn't really matter when someone starts watching anime. What matters is we are a group of people called TheAnimeMen, who are supposed to represent and normalize anime. But all we did in that video was disrespect the most influential anime of all time, which literally
I can tell the guy on the top left here. Yeah, you're. I think you're sleeping too much on your left side. You should probably try to sleep on like facing up, not left or right, just like this, like not on a side because it's not good for the face. All right, because bro. You're definitely good looking, bro, but we don't want you to be, you know, looking like you're eating a jawbreaker the whole time. You know what I mean? No disrespect. You're cool.
contradicts our very name.
And at the end of the day, the video sucked.
and instead of playing a ukulele and apologizing and moving on, we want to make things right.
So we decided to watch some of the most historical anime dated from before we were born, and give them the time and respect they deserve.
Alright.
This is where everything began. I think we talked about Astro Boy a little bit in our old videos, so let's just check that real quick.
Absolute bottom of the barrel F tier. F tier, bottom of F tier.
I looked at Astro Boy the way I would look at an anime nowadays, you know, as a shonen slop-loving goober. I was looking at Astro Boy how I would view something coming out like right now, which is honestly unfair because Astro Boy, it's anime history, and I disrespected it badly. So, hopefully I can right some wrongs here. Astro Boy, otherwise known as Tetsuo no Atom, was released in 1963 and was created by Osamu Tezuka.
See,
but
when they put effort,
manga,
it
which
looks
was made in 1952,
majestic.
and it actually went on to have 112 chapters. Astro Boy was originally created as a way to inspire hope and kindness in a post-war Japan that was just absolutely devastated by the war. This guy was a symbol of hope, peace, prosperity, and what machines and men can do if they work together. I set myself a goal. I was going to watch 10 of the highest rated episodes, which are right there. And out of all these episodes that I watched, my favorite was actually Zero the Invisible Robot. I thought it did.
Oh, okay. I like this new concept. The first they did one episode. Now they're doing top 10 best episodes. Okay. Now they can really fairly judge the anime, of course.
Emma's really well.
I like
it
that.
starts out with this guy. He's so clearly guilty. Like, I know they say he's guilty, but just like, look at him. And it kind of shows the inefficiency and corruptness of the judicial system. Overall, I think Astro Boy is able to mix deep and profound and mature themes really well. But from an aesthetic perspective and like an art style perspective, Astro Boy is the most important anime ever. I mean, like, without Astro Boy, no anime would look how it does now. Like, the big eyes, you know the big eyes you see in anime? And, like, the big, crazy eyes that sometimes is like, wow, that's, like, half your face? That's Astro Boy. One thing I really love is how the author, Osamu Tezuka, actually kind of painted Astro Boy as a reverse Pinocchio type of character. So basically what this means is that Astro Boy is basically a perfect robot, but he wants to become more human, and the more human he becomes, the more imperfect he gets. Because innately, humans are not perfect, humans are obviously flawed. And I just thought it was like such a nice little way to see things. But as for the other characters in Astro Boy, I mean, like, I'm not the biggest fan of any of them.
I kind
of see
he just
Astro
6'7".
Boy.
Look at that.
I mean, like, I'm not the
He
biggest
just hit
fan
a 6'7".
of any of them. I kind of see Astro Boy like this. A typewriter. And then newer anime is kind of like a brand new computer. Without this typewriter, there wouldn't be this big old computer right here. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I want to type using a typewriter. But me not liking it also isn't really that big of a problem. Like, I know Astro Boy isn't made for me. I am not the target audience. I still definitely recommend checking out Astro Boy, especially the 1963 version, just because it's so cool to see how anime kind of started. Astro Boy isn't really my thing, but it could be yours, and I definitely recommend checking it out just because it's like cool to see. None of my favorite animes would ever exist without Astro Boy. Look at this Astro Boy popcorn bucket.
Nice. Alright, Speed Racer.
I actually have a personal connection to this anime. So my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu instructor always makes fun of me for watching anime. But the one anime he ever watched was Speed Racer. And when
He
I texted
wore a
him I was
whole
gonna watch
Bonnie
it,
Girl
he said one
Senpai
thing.
picture. I mean, outfit.
The anime he ever watched was Speed Racer. And when I texted him I was gonna watch it, he said one thing. And to this anime,
Wait, I need to
so my
see that
Brazilian
picture.
Jiu-Jitsu instructor
That's sick. Brazilian
always makes
Jiu-Jitsu's
fun of me.
baller. Oh my god, what is that? Oh, that is a crazy fit. That fit is crazy. I like it.
Watching anime. But the one anime he ever watched was Speed
Yeah, I
Racer.
am, King.
And when I texted him I was gonna watch it, he said one thing. Only one is good. Speed Racer. The anime follows Go
Base
Mafune, or otherwise
guy.
known as Speed since his name was changed in the US localization.
I
He
like
wants
it.
to be the greatest race car champion. He competes in literally the craziest races ever.
Why is there letters in the
With the
wheel?
help of his girlfriend, his family, and his pet chimp that he, for some reason, has. Speed Racer was one of the first anime to see success
Gotta love
with an international
pet
audience,
chimps.
paving the way for anime globalization. After some time passed, the rights to Speed Racer went to an American company called Speed Racer Enterprises. First adapted into a cartoon in the 90s, before eventually becoming a live-action movie directed directed by the Wachowskis. You might actually know them as the creators of The Matrix, like one of the most popular movies of all time. Yes, it might sound crazy, but the creators of The Matrix love Speed Racer that much that they were instrumental in getting the live-action adaptation off the ground. Okay, Speed Racer was actually so famous back in the day. Like, literally pause this video and call your parents right now and ask if they watched it. Actually, wait, I'm gonna do it right now. Give me a second. Dad.
Somebody.
Hey, do you know Speed Racer?
Yeah, what about it?
Oh, did you used to watch it?
It's good.
Alright, okay, bye. Yeah, see, Speed Racer.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna ask my mom if she knows Speed Racer. 1 second, guys. Let's see if I'm gonna see if Mama Rose knows Speed Racer, and I'll give you the live reaction. All right. Never mind, Mom is sleeping. I was gonna be like live reaction and then I'd show you, but you know what? Okay, I'll call my dad. Hey chat, let's call my dad and see if he knows. Alright. Okay, we're calling Papa Rhodes right now, okay? I mean, he's probably asleep, I'm not gonna lie. What تعرف show اسمه Speed Racer? Oh. ماشي معلش اوكي. انت عارف حاجة اسمها Speed Racer ولا لا؟ أي حاجة اسمها كده؟ سمعت عن حاجة كده زمان اسمها سبيد ريسر؟ اوكي. عشان كانت حاجة قديمة باك then. ماشي. نام كويس بحبك. باي باي. Okay. Okay, he doesn't know what Speed Racer is. I mean, my dad's like from Egypt, so. And he's very Arab, like he'd be up there with like traditional, so he thinks anime is basically just baby cartoons still. So we're not gonna get much. I don't think he'd know it. That's what I'm saying here. Banana. Yes, I said yes, King BMVR. Do y'all just forget the ears, or am I quiet? Am I quiet to y'all? Am I not a good volume? You guys, I'm pretty sure you can hear me. Fa! Okay.
Here's what I promise you. It was a banger.
Continue.
While the series does follow a storyline based on 2 to 3 episode arcs, so much random stuff happens in each episode. It can literally go from him racing a huge car and it running into an oil tank to Speed throwing hands.
Damn!
The level of violence is also kind of crazy to see though. Like I swear they fire a gun in every single episode. Overall, I enjoyed Speed Racer and completely understand why Jujutsu Coach gave it its praise. I think the main issue I have overall with it is that although it's incredibly fun and random at times, most episodes follow the same formula where Speed races, villain tries to stop him or sabotage him, and he always wins. But at the same time, a ton of shows did that back then and still do it now. I'm looking at you, JoJo's. I could see Speed Racer being a super fun show that you can watch with your parents or something and kind of understand the type of nostalgia they feel.
Ashita no Joe. Joe is an arrogant, cocky teen who was failed by society, and the only way he can really show his emotions is through his fists. Meets his coach. The coach is like, I see something in him. He has hunger in his eyes. And Joe slacks off on his training, continues to scam the Yakuza, and eventually scams Yoko. He fights everyone in jail, but then he meets his main rival, Rikishi. Joe gets...
Okay, I watched all of the anime. And he hasn't done all of that. He was about to be in an upwards goal into being a boxer, but then he decided to just be an idiot, and then he went to the lowest of the low in his life, and then he went to juvenile prison. This is him in the juvenile prison, and this was one of his rivals.
One punch into the face, he comes back up, and I think that's supposed to be like the message, like no matter how much society puts you down, you always gotta get back up, but it also can be self-destructing. Joe leaves the jail, and now his entire purpose is becoming a professional boxer. Ashita no Joe shows off
clip from Rocky.
PTSD, and it actually shows death. In the manga, he ends up fighting this guy called Jose. We're seeing Joe sacrifice his literal years of his life, his entire purpose. It's a 15-round fight, a slaughter fest of Joe saying, no matter what you do not throw the towel. It was so goddamn peak that I instantly put it in my top 15, top 20 all time. Ashita no Joe became a cultural phenomenon. And I'm telling, a mega cultural phenomenon. It ended up selling over 20 million copies. If you've watched anime, you have seen an Ashita no Joe reference whether you like it or not. In an interview with New Type Shonen, I grew up
let me see the meme.
Phenomenon. It ended up selling over 20 million copies. If you've watched anime, you have seen an Ashita no Joe reference whether you like it or not. In an interview with New Type Shonen,
that's the meme. I didn't even know that.
Shonen manga like Ashita no Joe, you see. I think I have a thing for the straightforward, honest, and hot-blooded passion in shonen stories. Please, I beg everyone watch this, and please DM me, and we can talk about how much we love Ashita no Joe, because I love this man. I f***ing love it. All the other anime men, and watch Ashita no Joe.
Mazinger Z, considered to be one of the most important and influential mecha anime ever created. Many popular anime actually credit Mazinger Z as inspiration for their series. One of the most notable of these is Neon Genesis Evangelion. The creator of Evangelion, Hideaki Anno, states in an interview, "Actually, I only thought of renewing the genre. At its core, it's still Mazinger Z. I thought to myself how Mazinger Z would be if it was created today, with stuff like training the pilots in laboratories. However, this was quickly derailed." Hideaki Anno, the creator of Evangelion, goes on to state that while the rough draft of Eva was more comparable to Devilman, which is an anime series that was animated in 1972, the initial plot of Evangelion was actually more similar to Mazinger Z. When he mentions pilots, it's important to note that Mazinger Z is considered the first anime to have a mech piloted by a human on the inside, something that has become extremely common and even might even be the standard now. As for the actual anime,
they picked some really good
I think the first couple episodes do a great job at establishing the base stories along with its villains.
I don't really like mecha
anime,
anime, so
my favorite anime of all time is Gurren Lagann, and watching Mazinger Z has made me realize how far mech animation has come. Mazinger Z is primarily an episodic series, so compared to a full base story anime, you don't get to see as much development. So while watching, I had the mindset of enjoying it as if I was watching a morning cartoon, rather than something like One Piece or something. But all in all, if any of you guys are into mech, I would recommend giving Mazinger Z a shot.
They didn't give a rating though. I thought they would give ratings. And then that classic. This one's
Doraemon. A hood classic, a childhood favorite. I've met many people in my life who grew up watching this, glazing it over and over again. They all told me, you should have been there. You should have watched it as a grown up. Everyone watched it growing up. And I never heard of it when I was a kid, sadly. I mean, I was watching like SpongeBob and stuff. But now it is my time to right those wrongs and finally see what the hype was about. See what Doraemon was about. I've seen it. It's a national treasure. But to start off, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I did not finish Doraemon. I mean, it's going to take me forever to finish that show. It has like over 500 episodes. It's been going on
1,000 plus. It is the One Piece of back then.
OG show. It's also an episodic show, so the storyline it's not very linear. It's set in the 22nd century, and Doraemon is actually sent from the future from his great-grandson. His great-grandson's name is Suishi, and he comes back from the future to give Doraemon back to our main character, Nobita. And essentially, Doraemon's whole goal is that apparently in the future, like his lineage is absolutely cooked. So Doraemon is there to make sure that his lineage isn't cooked, to help Nobita throughout his life so that his family can eat good and make sure they're set up for life. And the way that he helps Nobita out is gadgets. This cat, Doraemon, is OP. He has infinite gadgets. Each episode, there's a new problem. Nobita is low-key an idiot, honestly. Like, he always messes up. He always gets greedy with the gadgets. Like, oh, this is OP, I'm gonna abuse it. And he abuses it, and Doraemon's like, are you serious? The show is actually super funny, honestly. Even now, there's definitely humor that we can get as adults. And the gadgets are super creative, honestly. The whole show is honestly insanely creative for its time. It was a great show. Now, for story value, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Max prestige, 99 overall, Hall of Fame level. If it would put it in the Hall of Fame of anime, it is one of the most influential shows in anime history. It originally came out in 1969, and even till 2025,
I like the
this
video
show
style.
is still having impact. Basically, every mangaka to this date references Doraemon as an inspiration, an OG of anime history. They even remastered in 2005. All these episodes is still going. According to The Guardian, Masahiko Komura, an LDP lawmaker in the foreign ministry at the time, appointed Doraemon as Japan's first animation ambassador. To promote Japan, Doraemon was the head figure of that. It is insane to me. I didn't even realize all this about Doraemon. I mean,
yeah, it had a crazy amount of influence.
Only 5 years ago. I've seen Doraemon
in
toys
culture.
everywhere, so I'm very honored that I was able to even dive into this. I know in the past video I watched the first clip, but the first clip was only 30 seconds long,
hear
and
Prox
it was like a original
guy.
cut, and it was literally just audio. Now for my rating of Doraemon, it is very hard to rate Doraemon since I only watched 12 episodes and it's been going on for a long time, and I missed out on a bunch of stuff. But for the 12 episodes that I watched, I can't really give it a 1 to 10. I feel like in everyone's hearts, it's just an auto 10. I mean, it's Doraemon. But instead, I was just giving it a rating as words. I'm going to be saying Doraemon is peak. It is a must-watch. I think that everyone should go back and just at least watch 10 episodes. You know, just get a little taste of it, see what Doraemon's about. I just wish I watched it as a kid. I'm very jealous. For anyone watching this video, anyone watching this part, influence rating, do I really have to say it's a 10 out of 10. Are you serious? This has insane impact, insane influence. One of the most influential animes of all time.
This is mecha anime in 2018.
I would have liked to hear his opinion. If he liked it. He probably didn't give it a rating that's like a. He probably didn't give his opinion because he probably didn't like it. That's probably why. If he did like it a lot, by the 12 episodes he watched, he probably would have given it like an 8 or above. He would have shown that in the video if it was 8 and above. Anything lower, he probably was not gonna. That's what he went with. I like the influence rating. It is indeed a 10. A lot. Good solid segment.
Oh no, we gotta pilot the mech, and this is Mecha in 1973. Cue the music. I thought Gundam was gonna be some straight Buki, I'm gonna be honest, okay? Last time I watched Mobile Suit Gundam, I actually gave it a C tier. I am so stupid for ever even thinking that. When I sat down and really just watched the anime, I could see things that I didn't see before when I only watched the first episode. 1, it's dark. Gundam, I did not expect to be surprisingly dark and also the most plot-focused story. There's literally an episode where his mom realizes he's prone to like killing because he became so forced to killing. There's a lot of good and deep stuff in this story, and it's because it's the blueprint, man. You gotta watch it. This anime actually isn't episodic, but it feels like it is, and we get to see some parts of the story develop as it goes on. But what I think is even cooler is the art style, bro. How did they cook this hard in 1973?
Nice legs.
Mobile Suit Gundam
You got some nice legs down there. Look at them.
This hard in 1973. My goodness. Mobile Suit Gundam designs in itself could literally be in like the top 5 character designs I've ever like seen in my life. The director of the anime, Yoshiyuki Tomino, was part of.
What is on his teeth? Oh nah, they can connect him into the mainframe, and then he can start eating stuff in virtual reality.
World War II generation, so he used Gundam and the time he was born to create a realistic war scenario. You can so easily see this with Zeon. Do you guys not see the resemblance right here? Look at Zeon. Before Gundam, we had shows like Mazinger Z, which was literally cool robots with cool powers defeating monsters in an episodic anime of the week style, you know. Well, guess what? Gundam was the first not to follow the order. Gundam changed the formula. We see our 15-year-old MC Amuro Ray go from a normal young kid to someone who literally fights with PTSD and grief on his side. On top of this, he becomes desensitized to mass murder and war. Like, there is real stuff going on in this anime. Obviously, it's still a kid's show. It's catered towards teens, but there was like a lot of depth in the story. Now let's talk about influence.
I actually hit leg day yesterday. My legs hurt.
Again, because Gundam has literally influenced every single mecha anime, whether you like it or not. Blood Iron Orphans, you heard of that? Evangelion, you heard of that? Gurren Lagann, you heard of that? 86, you heard of that? You know what's crazy too? You would think this anime is probably one of the most popular anime of all time. Well, you're wrong. Actually, the only reason you like Gundam right now is because of Bandai Namco and the amount of Gunplas that were sold. They cultivated an entire audience who loved the model kits, which helped keep the franchise alive. The merchandise aspect of Gundam is the reason the fandom has lasted for 40 years and become one of the most successful franchises
There's a lot of
all time.
collectibles
Without
for this,
merchandise sales as the backbone of the series, we may never have gotten the multi-billion-dollar enterprise we have today, and we need to thank Gundam 0079 or the original Mobile Suit Gundam for that. So if there's anyone who says you should not watch Gundam or that Gundam was not important, just literally for 1 second, just talk to them and slap them in the face because they have no idea how popular
I like that
the series
effect.
is, how influential the series is, and how much money the Gunplas in the series has made. Like, bro, the second anime that I've been tasked with watching today is Lady Oscar: The Rose of Versailles. It was a story written by
You got the whole fit on for this.
For combining her political narratives with her romantic themes in her shoujo work. It's essentially about a woman named
a good Star
Oscar
Wars
Francois
reference.
de Jargeas. I hope I said that right.
Back there.
Please tell me if I didn't. But it's essentially about a woman who grew up as a man. And this all happened because her father, who happened to be the general of the Royal Guard, decided he wanted his son to follow in his footsteps. But unfortunately for him, he already had 4 daughters, and when he had his 5th, turned out to be another girl, so he decided...
Probably had a lot of testosterone. If you have a heavy amount of testosterone, you make women. It's actually a fact. So I don't know if he was like if he is on like roids or something. That's probably what happened. He was on some steroidicals. Going to the gym every second. That's definitely why.
To raise her as a man. It's also important to know that because she grew up as a man, she was constantly ignoring her feminine qualities. She then went on to serve Marie Antoinette before her eventual ruling as queen. Besides Marie Antoinette, historical figures such as King Louis XVI, Maximilien Robespierre, and General Zarzé are woven into the story alongside original characters.
That's cool.
Now this anime is intriguing because it painted an ugly picture showcasing how the poor people lived compared to the people within Versailles, who lived a fat life filled with luxury and had such trivial issues.
Fat life is
I can easily see how influential this story is, not because it's gripping, but because of how it shaped shoujo itself. And I'll read a quote.
If the emphasis on familial love and parental attachment seems unusual, it is important to remember that the imbrication of familial love and romantic love is a common trope in shoujo manga, especially in the 1970s.
Probably recorded the segment and his friends opening the door in it.
Seems unusual. It is important to remember that the imbrication of familial love and romantic love is a common trope in shoujo manga, especially in the 1970s as the genre is transitioning away from narratives aimed at younger readers.
Akita paved the way for the medium, including serious historical and political themes, including class conflict, ethics of revolution, and court issues. Because of how personal these relationships feel, it gives the story the freedom it needs in order for you to care about politics. And when it comes to gender, the story will 100% push the boundaries of what's defined normal when it comes to the role of a woman. Lady Oscar is a character written with power and authority. She's constantly at a discourse when it comes to her own identity and her own expectations. The Rose of Versailles prove that shoujo can be about women and talk politics or revolution at the same time. Now, as you guys can see, that this anime or story is probably one of the most influential shoujo works of all time, and in general, one of the most influential anime of all time. Now, personally, I really enjoyed this anime, and I would recommend it to anyone wanting to give it a watch.
Urusei Yatsura. Let's go.
Basically, the show starts off with an alien invasion on Earth, which
That was
can only
Yatsura,
be
you
stopped
say.
if the main character, Ataru, wins a game of tag against Lum, an alien. Which she does, but I don't think I can show that scene on YouTube. The thing is, his girlfriend promises to marry him if he ends up winning, which is misunderstood by Lum, who is actually the one who ends up marrying Ataru. But from that point on, it feels kind of episodic. I say this because a lot of the episodes revolve around Ataru messing things up, and Lum comes in and eventually fixes it, which causes some divide between the two, which is ultimately fixed by the end of the episode. 1 minute things are totally fine, and then the next Ataru is getting chased by Lum's ex-husband, who turns into like a big gorilla thing. It's actual chaos most of the time, and it's completely unpredictable what happens next. But that also makes it really interesting and fun to watch. I see a lot of similarities with this anime and more recent animes, mostly when it comes to character writing. The main character, Ataru, closely resembles those characters that are lazy, low-life, and even slightly perverted. Those characters that you see in a lot of recent animes. Maybe even early parts of Naruto, some characters from One Piece, Re:Zero, Rent-a-Girlfriend, those types of animes. But it is a big reason why we see a lot of anime
I like this
this
music.
type of style nowadays. I think arguably the biggest contribution that Urusei Yatsura has made to anime overall is creating
He should have. Okay, should have made his voice louder, Loki. For this.
Everyone knows what that is, and it has become a huge cornerstone to anime in general. Lum, one of the main characters in this anime, and it has become an anime overall, is creating the waifu concept. Everyone knows what that is, and it has become a huge cornerstone to anime in general. Lum, one of the main characters in this anime, is considered the first waifu of all time. Pioneering this concept that has become so common that virtually every anime uses it is actually crazy. And not only that, she is considered the first tsundere, something that's become a very common personality type across pretty much every anime. Urusei Yatsura was actually the author's first commercially successful story, which made it a stepping stone for her other works. And not only
Ranma InuYasha, huh?
Straight to Urusei Yatsura. Notably, the creator of Evangelion, as well as Studio Gainax, who contribute some of the studio's creation to Urusei Yatsura. I mean, just based on the waifu fact alone, Urusei Yatsura is one of the most influential anime of all time, and I would highly recommend watching it.
It got a remake as well.
The year is 1982.
In
Michael Jackson just
year.
dropped Thriller. The Epcot ball was finished. But most importantly, Macross came out. And no, it's not this Macross or that one. How many Macrosses are there? Okay, it's the Super Dimension Fortress Macross. But first, maybe a little context on how Macross came to be. Studio Nue was a design group that consisted of these guys, who worked along Artland to make Macross. And Shoji Kawamori is basically the godfather of Macross because his involvement in the series has literally spanned decades. If you want to find out more in depth about how Macross was actually made, I definitely suggest checking out this video. It's like super informative and it's really good. Now I know what you guys might be wondering. Oh, Sam, what happens in Macross? The question you should be asking is, Sam, what doesn't happen in Macross? Are you a romance person? Well, boom, here's like a super well written and constructed romance triangle that sometimes turns into like a romance square because there's like 4 people. And if you want action, they got these crazy mecha fights that is like so insane looking. And you want music, it has some of the best anime songs you will ever hear. I won't really go into a summary that much because I kind of want you guys to experience Macross for yourself. But like basically there's like this really big shit. Like for 1982, they were pretty optimistic on how futuristic like society would be in 2008. Like let's actually see what happened in 2008.
Soaring gas prices, falling home prices, and rising unemployment.
Okay, maybe 2008 wasn't that good. So the story surrounds our main character, Hikaru, and the other main character / freaking awesome idol singer, Min-Mei. Their dynamic, I thought, was really cool and interesting. You guys have to thank Min-Mei for Japanese idol representation in anime. Slight spoiler here, the enemy that they're fighting while they're on the Macross is this big race of giant aliens, and they're actually only ever taught one thing: war. It immediately brings in, for me at least, like the nature versus nurture debate. These people were born and bred for war. Everything they do surrounds war. Is it really their fault that they're constantly fighting each other and fighting other races and planets and people? And it's really interesting to see these like innately bad warriors like try and become good. As my great friend Parthenox once said, "What is better, to be born good or to overcome evil through great effort?" I think that quote is a perfect representation of Macross. I also think the characters are really good. My personal favorite being Hayase. I thought she was kind of cool. Also, Captain Global. I swear, bro, his being
I like
Hayase,
that. She got an upside down heart.
I thought she was kind of cool. Also, Captain Global,
with her,
I swear, bro,
whatever they're
his
called,
hat
bangs.
gets bigger in every episode. I thought I was tripping. The influence of Macross can literally be seen everywhere. The Japanese idol representation, these great musical themes, and I think the way it presents its like really rich and complex storyline along with its like really good characters can be seen throughout all other anime ever. I loved it. Macross showed that in a time of anime that a lot of times was kind of meant for kids, there could be this beautiful work of art that has such good storytelling and music. I implore you to check out Macross. Alright guys, I'm riding in my spaceship because my boyfriend is a pilot. Anyway, check out Macross. It
sounds like a whole anime title of an anime. Captain Tsubasa.
In the last video, we gave Captain Tsubasa's first episode a C tier, and I have no clue why. We should have at least given it a minimum B.
This kid's a goat, the Tsubasa kid.
An upward hill and goes to the moon because it gets so good. You're automatically thrown into the story without any fluff. And the rivalry versus the unstoppable force Tsubasa and the immovable object Wakabayashi. Then you're introduced to my personal favorite character who my BJJ coach would have loved. Professional Brazilian soccer player Roberto, who has literally the craziest backstory for a kid's show. Like, I was watching this and tearing up, bro. This anime is not only pure entertainment, but also
saw
has a ton
him,
of
but I
moments. And I'll make you want to just pick up soccer.
Haven't seen.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've been missing.
I need to watch this for
made me
sure.
want to just get back and start going while watching all these players be like so wholesome and like uplift each other. It was beautiful. The most obvious connection to Captain Tsubasa is Gulak, and this might be a hot take.
Okay, they're playing Yakuza music. That's good.
More than Gulak. I love Gulak, but Captain Tsubasa just made me feel something else. There's just something about watching someone extremely talented also wanting to create a great team environment not fueled by ego. It's just wholesome. Captain Tsubasa is genuinely one of the most feel-good anime I've ever watched. The relationship with Tsubasa and his teammates, and especially his coach Roberto, is just awesome to see. The only criticism I would give this show is that the pacing's a bit slow, but luckily there's also a 2018 version, so if you want something a little faster paced, I would recommend watching that. If you like Blue Lock or any sports anime for this matter, I would 100,000% recommend watching Captain Tsubasa.
I want to watch it. I have started
I'm here to
already.
talk about the burning statement that has quite literally pissed off the entire anime community. Goku with a tail.
Goku with the tail.
Really Dragon Ball. I don't know. It just wasn't something I picked up. I knew about it in modern iterations. I didn't.
The first
really
Dragon Ball,
one,
Dragon
so I never
Ball
really
was kind of
did a double
goofy.
take. And then when we watched the first episode, I was like, oh, you know, maybe it's funny if I poke fun at the fact that he has a tail. I'm like, what? No way he has one. So what's even worse, I'm Hispanic, so that's half my family that has banished me from ever setting foot in Mexico ever again. And I know how prevalent Dragon Ball Z is to like the Hispanic community, and I have basically disappointed every single one of them. And I am here to say I have failed as an anime fan, and I want to fix that. Essentially, Dragon Ball is about a kid named Son Goku who finds a girl named Bulma, then they go look for Dragon Balls, and they get stronger, then they get into tournaments, and then they fight, and then they look for the Dragon Balls again, because after summoning the dragon, you get one wish, and then they scatter all over the world, and that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna talk about why Dragon Ball is probably one of the most important fictional stories of all time. So Toriyama found inspiration from Disney and Osamu Tezuka, who was the creator of Astro Boy, but essentially he watched 101 Dalmatians and Astro Boy, and he got inspired from both those two and created his first story called Dr. Slump. And it won multiple awards after being on Shonen Jump for 4 or 5 years. So yeah, it's pretty successful.
There was a crossover episode with this girl in it.
And create another story called Dragon Boy, not Dragon Ball. Don't get that mixed up. And of course, after Dragon Boy, he started working on Dragon Ball, and you can see there's clear inspirations from Journey to the West. Dragon Ball was originally modeled after the ancient Chinese legend Sayuki, Journey to the West, also known as the Monkey King or even Monkey. In Sayuki, Son Goku is a powerful monkey born from a stone. Instead of being asked by Bulma to help find Dragon Balls, he is asked by Sanzo, a priest, to go from China to India in search of sacred sutras. So that's why there's a tail in Goku. Yeah, I get that now. I get it. But yeah, basically something that shows how important and significant Dragon Ball was to people who decided to pick up the stories from an article that I found. Basically,
the Monkey
Ichiro
King.
Oda, who used to be a manga assistant, he was assistants with other people as well, and they all shared the same shorthand. Make the surface in the background of this panel like the ground on people as well.
The hell's shorthand?
They all shared the same
Method of rapid writing by means of abbreviations and symbols used especially for taking dictation. The major systems of shorthand are those devised in 1837 by Sir Isaac Pitman.
Shorthand.
Wow,
Make the surface
cool.
in the background of this panel like the ground on planet Namek. This gets it across to everyone. This is our common ground, Dragon Ball. This kind of shows how important the story is because it echoed across a generation of manga artists, and if that isn't significant, then I don't know what is. Seriously, Oda talking about Dragon Ball like this? Come on. Anyway, the reach of Dragon Ball was insane, especially when it hit the US in the 90s. Everyone was talking about it all over the globe. It was reaching people who worked in the industry, who were fans of anime, fans of manga, or just people who were new to it. Like, it was globally insane. So I'm not too far into this series where people's main assumption of it is just big guys yelling and non-stop fighting, but from what I've been reading, there's a lot of humility, heart, creativity, humor, comedy, and it's all etched into one beautiful series. Dragon Ball, Toriyama, you know,
that
has
is
had
true.
A massive
Dragon
impact
Ball
on
is
the world.
goated.
To be honest, when he passed, I didn't feel it as heavy as I do now. And at the time, you know, the whole world was stunned. Everyone was saying things about Mexico. I'm not sure how accurate it is, but they said like the cartel had a ceasefire because of his passing. But anyways, guys, it is clear to me that the reach of Toriyama is global, and I'm never gonna mistake Goku not having a tail ever again.
No, you should. It was pretty funny.
Gunbuster, Go Buster. And keep in mind, it is only 6 episodes long, and I loved every second of it. I wish it was longer. Gunbuster starts off with another girl as a main character, and her name is Noriko. They're essentially fighting these aliens that keep attacking Earth. They go and fight the mother of these aliens. Basically, Gunbuster obliterates all of them and destroys the final alien. I was like, yo, Gunbuster busted. They completely eradicate the aliens. The nuke actually disintegrates everything, and it cuts. It shows Noriko and Kazumi in space, and Gunbuster. Gunbuster's completely destroyed. They've realized that it's gonna take thousands of years to get back to Earth. Everyone they know and love will be gone. 12,000 years have passed. As they approach their hometown, Okinawa, they get the greatest message of all time. The lights turn on in the city in kanji, basically translating to welcome home. Gunbuster was also the debut of Evangelion director, which is kind of crazy. That was his first gateway, basically, into anime, his first hit. As we know, Evangelion inspired so many anime. It inspires anime to this day as one of the greatest stories of all time. Also, Gurren Lagann, the mech is completely from Gunbuster. That without Gunbuster, Evangelion would have been made. If Evangelion never made, all these other animes would have been made. But we're starting to see more stuff inspired by Gunbuster in these recent years, and I'm excited to see how many more shows pull from Gunbuster. I want to give Gunbuster a 10 in my heart. It's very hard to rate since only 6 episodes. I really wish it was like 12 episodes. That's all I'm asking for, 12 episodes. It's looking my top 10. I'm not gonna lie, it's in my top 10. Please watch Gunbuster.
Evangelion is one of those anime that you will come away with and you will feel a strong emotion of something. It could be happiness, it could be disgust, it could be sadness, it could be revulsion. And I know this entire review and description is kind of vague, but I feel like Evangelion is the only anime I can kind of do that for. Evangelion was made 30 years ago, and people still talk about it like it was made yesterday. Evangelion gets brought up everywhere. You go to any anime store, they got Evangelion front row. They got Evangelion right there. They got Evangelion there. And I'm gonna be honest, guys, I cannot possibly tell you the influence and importance that Evangelion has over the entire history of anime in this video. There are so many deep dive videos about Evangelion, about Anno, that are done so well that I highly recommend you watch. Watch like that one, watch that one, watch that one. This one's really cool. I think Shinji's loneliness and self-consciousness is done so well. I know a lot of people don't like Shinji because he's like a whiny character, but dude, he's a 14-year-old. And actually, a sad fact, a lot of the character's depressive elements are actually stemmed directly from Hideaki Anno's own battle with depression. And while it is really sad, I think it also is an example to why these characters' problems feel so real and visceral and guttural. It perfectly shows how terrible loneliness can be to a person and how much we starve and yearn for human connection. Anyway, I love Evangelion, but that doesn't mean you will, but that's perfectly okay. Evangelion is just one of those things that whether you love it or hate it, you will, like I said, without a doubt, remember it.
Yeah, it was an experience. Not one of my favorites or my cup of tea.
InuYasha. InuYasha is that one anime where every single person thought the main character was a girl at one point. Like, come on, you can't even lie. You thought InuYasha was a girl. And after Cade and Aiden ranked it a D tier, I felt inclined to watch it because I feel like they were probably not in the right mind while they're watching it or something. I've been recommended this anime so many times and I'm so excited to have finally watched it. InuYasha follows Kagome, a modern schoolgirl transported to feudal Japan where she frees the half-demon InuYasha. Together they hunt the scattered Chacon jewel shards, blending action, romance, and Japanese folklore. Regarding the historical value, you probably already heard about Rumiko Takahashi from Jeremy, but this is one of her other great work, and she's literally considered the GOAT. InuYasha brought shonen fantasy romance to international audiences in the early 2000s. It became a
this show was
on Adult Swim, introducing Western viewers to anime beyond Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon. Long before the modern isekai boom, series like InuYasha, Visions of Escaflowne, and Or Battler Doombine, that's a cool name by the way, represented Japan's early forays into portal fantasy, serving as clear predecessors to today's isekai. This anime is awesome. Best way I could describe InuYasha to all modern-day anime fans is kind of like a combo of Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen. The feudal Japan era is just such a sick vibe, bro. One of InuYasha's strongest points is definitely the character designs. Like in a lot of anime, the cool designs will be reserved for like the villains and main characters, but in InuYasha, every single person has cool designs, especially the demons. Like this one frog dude, or my personal favorite, the Thunder Brother Monten, because I relate to him since he's also
I watched this
suffering from male
anime.
pattern baldness. Basically, there's no bland characters, and this show gets dark. There's this one episode where this mom's kid literally burns to death and haunts her. That's kind of crazy. Overall, I have absolutely zero bad things to say about InuYasha. It just blends shonen elements combined with rom-com so well, and it kind of reminds me of Dandadan. If you love Dandadan, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, or just anime in general, you need to check out InuYasha.
Well, there it is. We reviewed anime like we should have in the first place. But before we wrap things up, there's one more thing we wanted to touch on. There's this comment from the last video that actually hit really hard, and it not only perfectly deconstructed what we did wrong in that video, but it also just... Here, let me just read it out.
Have you even encountered an anime that changed your worldview? A new series that speaks to you? A character you resonate with?
Good Minecraft music usage.
Yeah, so even though the last...
Wait.
A character you resonate with? A scene you cried about?
Yeah, so even though the last video would contradict our answer to this question, the answer is yes. So we want to take some time to talk about how much anime has affected our lives.
The TheAnimeMen didn't start because we wanted clout, or the fame, or even the money. We started it because we were a group of friends who loved watching anime and making videos together. As cringy as it sounds, anime quite literally brought us all together. And this whole situation really made us realize how we've taken anime for granted. Anime allowed us to travel the world, meet lifelong friends, and make stuff that we were truly proud of. But anime has also been there for us at our lowest points, through loneliness, through breakups, and through failure. But if there's one thing that's never changed, it's that anime has always been a love letter to the world.
That's
From
baller.
the old to the new, anime has always been an art form for these creators to express themselves. Whether it's about love, grief, pain, strength, forgiveness, motivation, self-acceptance, and most importantly for us, friendship.
W story. That they have, and I will say this on behalf of most of everyone who criticized them. Well done, TheAnimeMen. Plus rep. You're back on the wagon of awesome. Good job. They definitely redeemed themselves. I even I left them a comment that I fell for the rage bait. But the video's W, and they've made it peak when they put the effort in. They done well. And then these people are like, they ruined their careers. It's crazy. The whoever made this type of video, they really wanted some fat views. Anyways, guys, you know the drill. We ain't no drill sergeants. Now I have to make bangers of my own. And I'm not sleeping until I finish the banger I'm working on to upload it for tomorrow. Okay? Guys, thank you all so much for being here. I love you all, and I'll see you later. Okay? Peace.